Morning, traders. Welcome to Price Action GPS. I'm the Market Surfer here with your morning report for July 31st, 2023. Wow, summer's flying by, guys. This is when the economy has all kind of crazy stuff. September and October are usually the problem months, but we have banks failing, very tight money lending standards, and interest rates going up. Let's see when the house of cards will fall. Today we have earnings. These are the companies with noteworthy earnings. The ones I'm going to focus on right off the bat is Heartland Express. They deliver consumer goods, trucking company, logistics. So if they slow down, then people are spending less money, which means the economy's slowing down. I just look at it in those sense rather than trying to get caught up in all of the political jockeying that goes on with economics. So here's our earnings today. Even J&J Snack Foods should be interesting. Huntsman, I believe they're another delivery. Avis, a lot of people are renting cars. I know my neighbor was going to Myrtle Beach, and they weren't taking their car. They were renting a car and driving the rental car down. So the economy is changing on how people spend money. Let's see if we can follow it and take advantage of it. On the economic calendar, Chicago Business Barometer, Fed Senior Loan Survey. That, like I said, how they spin the news is for what they want to happen. Let's just see what they say. I think we're in a serious credit crunch, and another bank failing, the FDIC. How much money do they have? I know they started the year with like 128 billion, and they may only have maybe 50 billion left. And I don't know how much this new Kansas City bank is going to cost to cover their insurance or to cover their depositors. So I think they're running out of money, and they have to find a new way to fill those coffers. And Tuesday and Wednesday, here's all of the financial news for the week. Thursday and Friday, initial jobless claims, plus U.S. payroll, unemployment, hourly wages, and hourly wages year over year. So that's this week's information coming out. This was sent to me from Lover of Knowledge. The Ford Motor Company announces it's projected to lose a whopping $4.5 billion from electric vehicles this year, from the previous projected loss of only $3 billion. So there's an extra $1.5 billion they lost. Projected foreign losses over twice as much as the Model E's $2.1 billion loss in 2022. The company recently announced the price of its electric F-150 Lightning pickup will be reduced due to cheaper raw battery materials. The company touted that its low EV prices establishes leadership ahead of the industry's next generation EVs, and that Ford Model E's revenue is up 39%. Ford is also expected to produce 600,000 EVs per year by 2024. I'm a cynic, and the Great Reset is, we are in a fourth turning. If we are, then Ford Motor Company these companies may not hold significance 20 years from now. This may be the ending of the world as we know it. The last generation of people, Ford or motor companies in general, oil companies, GE, all those staples, we're going to have Apple, Tesla, whatever new banking system they come up with that you can invest in. That's the other thing. Fed Now coins out. Is that going to affect how these depositors are insured? Is that going to change along with that as well? So, I can go on forever. I'm trying to keep these things to 10 minutes. Here's quarterly net income. I'm going to try to blow through this fast. FDI-insured institutions reported net income of $79.8 billion first quarter of 2023. So, I will put this in the show notes as well. What I'm saying is look at 2008 and 9. So, I don't see how that's now going to duplicate minimally the amount of money they were negative. I think there's a lot more money in the system now, and it needs a lot more to prop it up. This is probably twice as much. So negative 80 billion, 100 billion. I mean, you can just look at that and see it. So I will put that in the show notes as well. And ArcBest Corp is another company. We're going to look at the chart today. Their earnings are today as well. It's an American holding company for truck loading, less than truckload freight, and freight brokering, household good moving and transportation management companies. Historically, the company also owned furniture, banking, and other diverse subsidiaries. So this is a well-rounded company, and their earnings come out today. So ArcBest came out with quarterly earnings of $154 a share, missing Zacks' consensus estimate of $205 a share. This compares to earnings of $4.30 a share from a year ago. These figures are adjusted for non-recurring items. This quarter report represents an earnings surprise of a negative 25% from a quarter ago. It was expected that the freight transportation and logistics company would post earnings of $178 a share, when it actually produced earnings of $1.58 a share, delivering a surprise of a negative 11.24%. So there is less going on. And let's go to Bitcoin, start looking at the charts. Excuse me. We have Bitcoin slowly drudging down, but we do have support right around the 28,000 mark. So I would say our box is, say, 28,000 to that 32.4. Here's our trading box. If we get a spike up to that, I would expect to sell off around there. There will be our three highs. 1, 2, 3. And then roll over and see if we stop there, or just continue to fall. Dollar index gained some strength. I would say our resistance point is right there. We have divergence, but our momentum is still to the upside. So, although I expect a failure, the momentum's still to the upside, and this could go tackle that high, or I could just continue to go to that high and the trend line. It doesn't seem likely, but it is a possibility. So you have to, when you're trading, you have to keep that in mind. Tether is doing nothing. The dollar against the pound are right up to there. Got a sell off there. We only have, they 1, 2. I don't know if I would consider that a 3. Maybe we need another ride over to here, but momentum was dwindling. 200 period moving average is here. It looks like a good spot to short 2. They still look fine. 2 year. I expect that to roll over too. That means this is going to hold. I don't know if that's going to continue down. I mean, right here is a serious level of support, and we didn't break through it here. We didn't break through it there, here, or here. So if we do, that's still support. We have contract rollover at the end of this month or the end of next month. So that's probably when that volatility kicks in. SDS, which is the ultra short pro shares or S&P 500, it looks like it's finding a bottom, at least on the hourly. May just try to ride up and get that, close that gap if you day trade that, which I don't. But I do consistently buy this when I think the market's going to go the other way. I sold mine at 57, and I'll probably buy some more back again. Apollo, still wait for that to roll over. Palantir, there's your 3 tops. Let's see where that baby goes. That's definitely an investment type stock to buy. Small cap, still holding against its resistance. Russell, same thing. Home Depot, Starbucks, starting to roll over. Sean, you should, if you had your stop there, you got stopped out. Spotify, there you go. See if we get a little catch there to ride up, close that gap, and then come down here. And here's Heartland. They have their earnings today. Transportation. This is a weekly. It's right up against resistance. So this bought up enough buying power to push us up. See if we make it to that bottom after today's news or earnings. And Apple, of course, look at that, overextended. Ooh, well, I was wrong here. I didn't think we would go up and continue. But people need to put their money somewhere, and Apple seemed to be the safest bet. I mean, look at their volume. 48 million. That's a slow day for Apple. But that doesn't look like a pattern. That just looks like an extension. And we're at a top now with a triple top on the 4-hour. So we're at least going to the 174 mark to find some more support. We may be topped out on Apple. And with that being said, everyone, this is a value for value endeavor. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your time. If you want to give any of your talent, you could send me articles or anything you're interested in. If you want to send your treasure, you could Boostagram us. It's right there on No Agenda Tube. You have our little Albie wallet there. If you're watching this on a modern podcast app like a Podverse or Curiocaster, you can boost through there. If you're watching this on YouTube, another great way to support this podcast is go to podcastapps.com or newpodcastapps.com, one or the other, and download a Podcast 2.0 specified new podcast app. They have all kind of bells and whistles, but most importantly, you have control over what you're watching and who you interact with. You don't have to worry about cancel culture or any of that. So check it out. I'm sure you'll be happy with it. Once again, thank you for your time. Stay safe and effective, everybody, and see you all on Wednesday.